Welcome to episode 229. Loneliness is optional, connection is a choice.
Yeah, we can't shy away from the fact that in the VA space, the VA industry, it is very, very common to feel alone, especially if you're a freelance virtual assistant that is working in isolation, that isn't making many connections outside of the occasional conversation with a lead or client. Like, it's a lonely place to be.
Yeah, you might think like, oh, won't I be talking to clients all day, every day? But actually, you're really not. You might be connecting with them maybe on a message each day, but it might be only once a week that you actually have agreed to talk on the phone. And then you're kind of both feeling like your time is on, so you may not even get into like really building a relationship and having that like real human connection time with them very often either. So it can absolutely be lonely. I know my team even now feel, because we don't have an office right now, we're about to go back into an office because like my team members, even though they might be communicating with each other regularly, they're still lonely at home.
Yeah, yeah. And being alone is not a good feeling. It's not a good place to be because the effects of that, the effects of a lack of a deeper level of communication. So
Mm.
you've got that surface level that you just touched on with clients and leads where the time is on, time is money. You're not necessarily going to be spending a heck of a lot of time having deep and meaningful connections with people.
Yeah.
So it's about that deeper level connection and the importance of that.
Mm.
So where we see a lot of virtual assistants feeling very alone, really kind of searching for some type of deeper level of connection. Sometimes they're searching for it in the wrong place. Sometimes they're then questioning whether or not this VA thing is for them. It's not what they were expecting. They miss the the banter that they used to have when working a 9 to 5, and they're searching for more. They need more. As
Mhm.
humans, we need more, as you
Yes.
said, Joe. Humans need more, right? This is not an introvert, extrovert thing. This is not a personality style. This is a humanity and humans needing to connect with other humans thing.
These days, it's 2025 right now. You could live your whole life and never leave your house.
Oh,
You
well,
can
hello.
get food delivered, you can have online doctor's appointments, you can like your kids can come and go on school buses. Like you could actually create your life without having to leave your house. And I need to make sure that I
Mm,
have things in my calendar and
mhm.
intentionally book things that means that I am leaving my house because it
Yeah.
would be easy to not leave very often.
COVID taught us this. COVID taught the world that we can live without leaving the house, but are we living well? And
No.
COVID taught us, no, we weren't. So even though we can do everything without leaving the house, and even if we are connecting with people online, which is a great way to connect, we're going to be talking about ways to connect throughout this episode. And online is definitely a way you connect, even on a deeper level. But even that's not enough. So we're also
Mm,
going to talk on the importance of making sure that you are carving out that time, not just online connecting, but in person, in real life connection. Like,
yeah.
how many times have we gone to an event, more often than not, an event that we've organized? And it's been an in-person one, and just the room is buzzing, absolutely buzzing, and people can't stop, like, hugging each other, like, they just
Mm.
wanna, like, hug you and just hold on and not let you go because they're not getting it outside of their immediate kind of family and friends, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And some people may be, sole mums, so they've only have got their
Mhm.
kids at home, they don't have a partner. So yeah, there are a lot of virtual assistants who are craving this connection, this like hugging someone. Because side
Yeah.
note, have you noticed that even going now to like supermarket or any like fast food place or like somewhere where you like order or buy something and leave, they have screens now, or self checkouts where you could go and do that without speaking to anyone. And we're actually missing that, like, hey, how's it going? How's your day? That human connection. It is starting to be wiped out of our lives. So, this is, I think, even more reason to intentionally find opportunities to actually talk to a person and check in with them and support them, get your support. We're going to go
Mhm.
into this more in detail, but like we have to make our own opportunities to do this intentionally.
Yeah. It's actually really scary that you bring that up. Like, we pump our own gas and we can pay at the pump. Self-checkouts and all the not just supermarkets, like the warehouse,
Yeah,
Kmart.
Kmart.
But yeah,
Yes.
the big stores you can self-check out. Driving past, I was driving Izzy to school the other morning. We drove past, quite a few bus stops, lots of kids waiting for their buses, lots of adults going to work on public transport. They weren't standing around talking to one another. They're all on their phones. So even that just kind of, or if you're walking along the street, you're going for your afternoon walk, right? Your 5K walk, whatever it is that you do in the afternoons or the mornings. Bet you got your headphones in now. So you're listening to a podcast, or you're listening to music, or you might be on the phone talking to your mum. It's like it's your weekly or daily catch up with a parent or grandparent, whatever it is you're doing. You're probably then not even aware of the person that's walking towards you. Whereas 20 years ago, you'd say, hi, good morning. Like, are you doing that? Probably not.
Yeah. I purposely do not take my phone, my headphones, like absolutely nothing. I just go like completely bare with my key and my poo
Yeah.
bag.
Are you wearing clothes, Joe Johnston?
Tea and poo bags for my dog, and that is it. And we're just walking. And I really try to make an effort because I don't leave my house very often. So I really make an effort to say
Mm,
hi to anyone who doesn't have headphones in, who are also walking dogs. And like I've made friends with random people, which you wouldn't do if you're
yes.
very like looking at your phone, having your headphones in.
If you're
Like,
closed off, right? If you're
yeah.
doing that, you're closed off to connection. You're not
Mm.
allowing somebody, you're not opening yourself up for somebody to even make that first move. And
Yeah.
this is not in a romantic sense. This is just that, once again, it's a human, in a human sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so nice to like say hi and connect to people and have a little chat.
It is. It's really important. I mean, the word connection, I feel like has become a bit of a buzzword, especially in the last 12 months, like very,
Mm.
very buzzy, but for good reason.
Because we're just losing it. We're just it's leaving our lives. It's like seeping out of our lives without us even realizing that it's happening. I think
Yeah.
like the self checkout thing is really worrying. That
Mm.
like ordering on a screen is like, oh, it doesn't feel good. I don't like it. I would much rather talk to someone, and it's just creeping in everywhere.
Mm. Okay. Oh my goodness. Connection is a choice. Connection is a choice, right?
Mhm.
There are opportunities there. And I think by now, if you're listening, if you've stuck around and listened to our
Our
ramble about
random
the
chats.
importance of connection, yeah, you see the importance, right?
Mm.
You can see why it is really important to sometimes, for some of you, it's going to be stepping out of your comfort zone in order to connect, to attend an event that, God, that might feel intimidating, because walking into a room, if we're talking about actually even just a virtual, whether it's a virtual in-person event or opportunity to connect with somebody, that first time you walk in that room or join that Zoom is scary. It's intimidating. You don't know
Mm.
what to expect.
Yeah. And I think the prevalence, I think, of social anxiety now too is like something that's, I think,
Mm,
getting worse because of all the reasons we just talked about. So, like, we know that it is hard. And we also know that with
mm,
practice, it does get better and
yeah.
it gets easier to go to those things. And especially if you start to get to know people who are going to be there and you can start to like know who's going to
Mm,
be there, or, like make friends with someone and organize to go together to things. I think that is really important as well.
Yeah, it is. It is. So the opportunity is there. We're going to talk about some specific opportunities for you, virtual assistant or aspiring virtual assistant here in New Zealand or across the ditch in Australia. But if you're not in New Zealand or Australia, or if you're even in Australia, because some of the specific opportunities we're going to talk about are in here in New Zealand, if that's you, there are going to be opportunities similar wherever it is that you live or
Mm,
you are based. They're going to be
yeah,
there. So do some research. Do some
mm,
research.
yeah.
Let's talk before we get into that though, Joe. Let's talk about, okay, we now know the importance of connection. What is the importance? Why is it important to connect with fellow virtual assistants specifically?
As a virtual assistant, if you're connecting with other virtual assistants, you have the same unique problems, unique to the industry, unique to the way that you provide services, how you're dealing with clients, the problems and issues that come up are something that they will understand and can support you with. That you have to get that support from others in the industry. We believe. That's why we have so many opportunities available for virtual assistants to connect with each other. So it's so, so important.
Yeah, you think you're special when it comes to your supposed unique issues that you're having as a virtual assistant. You're
Yeah.
not. You're not
Yeah.
special. There are other virtual assistants that have either gone through the exact same things that you are, or will in the very near future go through them.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
not
As
alone in that.
we get the same questions really often, right?
Yeah.
As coaches in the virtual assistant industry, because yeah, you all have the same problems.
Yeah. So that sense of belonging that you get when you hang
Mm.
out with a fellow virtual assistant that has experienced the same things that you are experiencing,
Yeah.
like that really can't be beat, I think. Like there is no one that is going to get your unique business issues and, highs as well as lows. It's
Hmm.
not just the lows, right? No one's going to get your wins or understand your wins as much as a fellow virtual assistant
Mm.
because they've gone through a very similar journey. They may have a very different service offering, a very different ideal client, but the journeys are very, very similar.
Yeah. I also think there's this great opportunity when you're connecting with other VAs to refer work to each other. So you might get fully booked, and then, like, what do you do with the leads that you get in? You only have so much capacity as a freelancer. You know, who do you trust? Who have you built a relationship with that would do a really good job and you could pass that work on to? And that trust and that relationship only comes if you're actually connecting deeply at in-person events or online things where you're actually getting to know that person. So that goes both ways. If you're looking for work, if you're looking for subcontractor work, connecting and talking with virtual assistant agency owners who are looking for subcontractors, so there's lots of opportunities to get work out of these relationships once they are built on trust.
What better way to have basically an informal job interview, right? If you were
Yeah.
looking for subcontractor work, than to put yourself in a room with some of New Zealand's or Australia's or wherever you are, biggest VA agency owners. They're there.
Yeah, this actually happens too. So I can think of one specific example that was super recent where we had someone come through launch in 30 days last year. And I had heard that they had connected and now are doing some subcontractor work for a virtual assistant agency owner. Great.
It happens all the time. So if maybe you don't feel lonely right now. Maybe you're actually on the surface, you think everything's all good. You're not missing any connections. You're getting it elsewhere. If you need clients, if you need referrals, if you want to work for an agency owner, that reason alone, you should be turning up to
Mm,
one of these opportunities that we're talking about in order to make those connections.
yeah. Yeah. And I think the other thing too is that we're going to go through some of these opportunities that Sam and I have created in various ways. And I want to make the point that, like, we actually create them not for any profit or financial
Mhm.
reward. It's actually because we can see that this is so important for community and connection. And we know that the industry is going to benefit so much from these events. Like that's the actual reason that we do it. These are not profit making things for us.
No.
These are community things.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to talk about before we hit record earlier, Jo, I asked you, have you ever felt lonely? Because we it is very common. We see it all the time. I was very lonely as a freelancer. So I was really interested to know, did you ever feel that loneliness early on as an agency owner?
Yeah, I didn't, because I started with a business partner and then grew a team really quickly, had an office fairly quickly. Like I think that was within the year that we had an office. And so I had a lot of opportunities to be around the team and my business partner at the time. So yeah, I didn't feel that lonely, and I would go to lots of networking events, like in-person real networking events, made lots of connections and actual relationships with other business owners and some
Yeah.
clients as well. That yeah, I really put a lot of effort into that, because I
Mm.
knew that I didn't want to be sitting at home behind my computer, and that was it. So that was the journey or pathway that I took. And
Yeah.
yeah, that definitely kept loneliness away.
And you had signed up to business coaching programs and
Hmm.
had a business coach as
Yep.
well. I remember when I first met you, like you were shooting off to Australia even to do business coaching. There was something that you'd signed up there. So you obviously, even though you never experienced it, you were aware of the potential. So purposely
Oh, absolutely.
took
Purposely.
steps to avoid it.
I knew the
Yeah.
benefits of having coaching, connecting with other business owners, talking about our businesses, sharing things that
Mm.
were going on in our business, getting that support. Yeah, because you hadn't created the virtual assistant network yet in New Zealand. And,
Mm.
the industry was still early on then. There weren't many of
Yeah.
us around. So I had to find other opportunities. Now, amazing. You've created the virtual assistant network, and there is this big community now.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to spend all that money. You don't have to spend all that money now doing big coaching programs. Yeah, because there are lots of opportunities for whatever
Mm.
your budget is and whatever stage you're at now, which is really cool.
That's good. Well, I'm glad you didn't have to experience it, but I'm also glad that you were aware enough that you'd never found yourself in that position, right?
Yeah.
I That was definitely, yes, it was early days. It was before the vans had, was created. But I think you're quite special, Jo. I think in
Aw.
terms of in all the good ways and all the positive ways, you're very special. Like, you're so self-aware, and I feel like you don't rush into shit. Like, you don't have rose-colored glasses on things
Hmm.
that some people do. Like, the fact that you were even aware that it could be an issue and you took those steps to avoid it. Not everybody is like, I mean, I wasn't like that.
Yeah, what was your loneliness journey, I suppose? Like, how did that show up for you?
I don't think it was something I ever considered, because for those that don't know or haven't heard my journey, I was an accidental virtual assistant. So it wasn't planned. Whereas yours was strategically, I'm setting up this business with my business partner. This is what it's going to look. I was the very opposite, like a very kind of thrown in opportunity was put in front of me. I just said yes because I say yes to shit without really thinking about stuff. We'll just see how
Is
it
that how
goes.
we started in business?
Yeah, exactly. What's the worst that can happen? That's kind of my life, right?
Yeah.
So that's how, because I fell into it, I was not aware it was something that could happen. But I very quickly, being in the trenches of being a virtual assistant, then kind of went, oh, this is very different to working as an employee in an office space. There's so many benefits and so much I love about it, but also, like, who do I talk to now? Who do I talk to? And Mark is very supportive. Like, he's always been incredibly supportive, but there's stuff that he just didn't get. He
Yeah.
didn't get what I was doing, why I needed to do it. It was very easy for him to go, well, why is it an issue? Like, it's not an issue for me. Like, it's like, yeah, because we do very different things. And then it was a matter of kind of sitting around and waiting, going, okay, well, there are other virtual assistants like me, the freelance virtual assistants that don't have teams around them, that may not be connecting with anyone else. Someone's going to create something for us. And then they didn't. And then I waited another year and they didn't. And then I waited another year and no one did it. And then I just got really shitty about it and was like, oh, okay, all right. Okay, universe. I'll bloody well do it then. I'll be the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it happened. So from that point on, I can hand on heart tell you I am not lonely. I have never been lonely. It's the opposite. Sometimes I just want to tell everyone to fuck off and leave me alone.
Tell us what you really think, Sam.
What a good problem to have, though.
Yes, yeah,
what
exactly.
An awesome problem to have so many people like in my community, in my network, in my life, that it can be overwhelming for an introvert like me. Like we joke about the fact I never leave my house. Like people, I do leave my house, but I am very particular about how I spend my time and where I put my energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The moment that you've probably been waiting for this entire episode, what are the opportunities that you have available to you to have that awesome connection with others in the industry? So first up, what is the kind of like easiest option for a New Zealander to get that connection?
Yeah, easiest option would be through the Virtual Assistant Network of New Zealand, and that would be the monthly regional meetups that some regions, not all regions, but some of the big regions host. So you can head over to our Facebook group, the Vans Facebook group, and all of the whole entire year's monthly regional meetups are there. They're all there laid out for you.
And do you have to be a paid member, or can anyone go along?
So bronze, silver, and gold paid members are welcome to attend all of the Vans events. If you are a free member or you're thinking kind of about dipping your toes into the VA space, then you're more than welcome to attend one event as a newbie, a freebie, and then you make the decision whether or not you then want to invest in a bronze membership. Keeping in mind, an annual bronze membership is 30 New Zealand dollars for the year. It is a very affordable entry level, be part of our community, attend these events.
Yeah. And so like typically there will be, I've seen groups of like kind of 15 people coming along to those regional meetups. And then there might be some smaller groups in some of the smaller regions, but some really great regulars coming along so that you can actually like get to know people and see them every single month. So
yeah, very informal. They're not like a more formal kind of BNI thing. Like you're not expected to stand up and do a pitch. You're probably not even expected to like formally stand up and introduce yourself if you don't want to. It is really just about getting you out of the house and getting you in an environment where a supportive, safe environment with fellow virtual assistants, so you can pick each other's brains and you can rant and you can rave and cry on one another's shoulders and celebrate with one another.
Yeah. So then they're typically at a cafe, right? So it's a casual, have a coffee and have a chat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Lovely. Okay. Next one. What is the next easiest opportunity? This is an online one too for those who are in New Zealand.
Yes. So another Virtual Assistant Network of New Zealand event that you can join in on would be the weekly power hours. These are for silver and gold members only, and they are 1 hour virtual co-working sessions, really. Monday mornings, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. The wonderful Emmy coordinates those. She's the one that turns up and makes sure that the Zoom room is open and welcomes everybody. And it's very much a kind of dedicated getting you started, getting your week started well. So there's opportunities to chat, but there's also a very kind of structured way that it is run, whereas you are then having focused work time as well. So if you struggle to kind of get motivated sometimes, especially on a Monday, this is a really great way to start your week.
Awesome. Okay, and then we have the Scale Up Mastermind, which is another opportunity for those who are in Australia and New Zealand. And we actually have someone from the US at the moment in there as well. And this is a very specific type of support. So, this is for those who already have some clients, need to have at least a couple of clients, and you are looking to really scale up your business. And we have 41 members in there currently. And this is a commitment from you that you'll come along to every Wednesday, 12 noon till 1. And the first Wednesday of the month is where you do your metrics reporting. So you're going to have a look at how well your business is going, what your opportunities are, and then you're going to make a plan for the following month. What are you actually going to do and focus on the month? The second Wednesday is our coaching session. This year we are doing the PCM profile, personality profiling coaching with Tisha V, and that's going to continue on throughout the rest of the year. There are recorded sessions, so you can watch those and catch up. The third Wednesday of the month is where we do the Get Shit Done session. So this is where you bring along a piece of work, you do some co-working to have some accountability to get something done. And then the fourth, and if there's a fifth Wednesday, this is the coaching couch. This is very informal. This is where you can really come along and get that support and really make those connections. Go around the room, you can speak or not speak, you can share a problem, you can help support someone else, brainstorm, come up with ideas, ask us something. This is where you're really going to get that connection that we're all so craving and get to know all of the other members. So yeah, this is for those who are really looking to scale. You need to be an established virtual assistant to come in there. But what a great way to connect with others who have the same problems in the same part of their journey, right?
Yeah, they're all at that level. They're not talking about setting up their business. They're not talking about how to find clients. They've got that under their belt. They already know all this. This is the next level virtual assistant, and their issues that they are all experiencing are so different to a newbie just starting out. So different. So being able to go, oh my goodness, I'm having this issue with this team member or this client or whatever it is. And someone goes, hey, it's going to be okay. I had that last week. This is what I did. This is the language I used. You're going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually don't know how any agency owner can do business without some kind of coaching and support network. There's no such thing as a self-made person, a self-made millionaire, a self-made whatever. Like, you actually don't do that on your own. It is impossible. So yeah, if you're serious about your business, it's a really great opportunity to get that coaching, get that support, have that connection with others.
Yeah. What's next? VA Day, International VA Day?
Yeah. You may be listening and not even know that we have our own virtual assistant day every single year.
We do. It is, I think it's always the third Friday of May. Would the 16th be the third? I don't
Do you
know.
need me to look this up quickly?
It's always it's the same Friday.
Same Friday in the month.
In May. So the date changes, but it's always a Friday. And I'm pretty sure it's the third Friday in May.
Yep.
Third Friday in May. Yeah. So this year, International Virtual Assistants Day is Friday, the 16th of May. Every year for the past, well, this will be the fifth year that the Virtual Assistant Network of New Zealand is hosting this event. It's a biggie in our calendar. And we've got Thank You Payroll. Thank You Payroll is sponsoring the event this year again, which is very exciting. They're going to be there along with an epic keynote speaker, Dr. Samantha Ann. Yeah, this event it's so much fun. Obviously, connection, collaboration, celebration. Like, it's all the C's. It's all the great C words.
I was like, oh, you're going to start listing some more C words? This is exciting.
No, I could think of 3 off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But it's always really, really fun. We're going to be in Auckland again this year. We actually, the first time we hosted this particular event, it was a bit of an accident. We had a a reasonable big event happening in Auckland with some virtual assistants. I think we were having about 20 or 30 people that were going to get together for lunch and drinks and stuff like that. And then once we set the date, we realized accidentally that it happened to be on International Virtual Assistants Day. And we were like, are you for real? Okay, well then let's make this a thing. Like,
Wow. I did not
honestly,
know that.
you could not plan that any better, right? It was a pure accident. So then that became an annual event. So we've been in, first year was Auckland, then we went down to Christchurch. Queenstown was epic. Remember Queenstown? Last year was Wellington. Wellington hosted us so well, so much fun. And now we're back in Auckland for year 5. Tickets are still available. Great day. Kicks off at 2:00, goes till late in downtown Auckland.
And every time I've gone to this, I've made it a weekend, like going away for the weekend to somewhere and enjoying the sights afterwards as well. And I can guarantee, even though this is the Friday event, I can guarantee there are other virtual assistants wanting to do something and some activities on the Saturday and stuff. So
yeah,
make it a weekend and come and join us. And you get to chat with Sam and I as well.
Yes, exactly. Come hang out. It's always fun.
Okay, next on the calendar, we have the Virtual Assistant Bali retreat.
Oh my
How much
gosh.
are you looking forward to this, Sam?
Okay, so what is it? We're in March, but I tell you what, the last few days have been cold as fuck. And already I'm going, I can't wait to hop on a plane and go to Bali and escape winter.
Yeah, how nice is it to go somewhere tropical and warm? And that depths of winter, you've had all the public holidays, there's not another one for ages. It's July, it's miserable outside. And you know what? I love that we also have this in the middle of the year, because how many virtual assistants are prone to working all the way through and not intentionally having a holiday in the middle of the year and then finding themselves in burnout near the end of the year. Like, this is one of the reasons why we're doing it in the middle of the year, as a forced reset, relax, recovery. There we go. These are my 3 R's. Recovery time in Bali, where your responsibilities are no longer in sight, and you can just focus on you. Mums, women, we don't do this for ourselves.
No. So this is the second year that we are hosting this retreat in Bali. In fact, you may have heard or listened to previous podcast episodes, because we did a 2-parter about last year's Bali retreat. So if you're interested, you can listen to those. But it's not just about, although kind of like giving the women that join us that kind of space to kind of pause and breathe and reflect and focus and find themselves again, that's a huge part of it. Can't take that away. Like, everyone loved that aspect of it. But it is a business retreat. So this is a business expense. Your business can pay for it.
Yep. And there's something about, experiencing those things over in Bali, going to the activities, and we do some, I don't think, deep, thoughtful connection kind of activities as well, which I know that the feedback from last year was that they just actually felt like so connected to the other participants, because they talked about like real behind the scenes stuff and emotional stuff and how they're feeling about things. And, like, all the barriers and walls were down. It was awesome. It doesn't happen on the first day, obviously, but like, spending 5 days with others over there, there's something really beautiful about the connection that you can build with other people over there.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some real kind of aha moments, weren't there, that we were so fortunate and grateful to be part of. Like, some massive pivots in people's businesses were made, some big projects that other virtual assistant business owners have been putting off, that we then helped get them over the line during those 5 days. And we had other VA business owners that were there, and they went, you know what I need for me is just some space to breathe. Can I just sit by the pool for a few days? Hell yeah, you can. If that's what you need, You do you, right? There is
Mm,
nothing on these retreats that is compulsory. We
mm.
give you so many opportunities to immerse yourselves in different things, including like the coaching side of it, as well as the self-care and reflection side, but nothing is compulsory. You kind of you pick what you want and run with it.
Yep. So if you would like to come along to Bali, currently we have 4 spots available, but don't dilly-dally on that because we're in talks with others who
Mm.
are potentially keen. So yeah, if you want to grab one of those spots, we would love to have you there and join us in the beautiful, relaxing Bali where there's Bali time. No one is rushing. It's so nice.
Beautiful
Can't wait.
Bali. 16th to the 21st of July. I don't think we
Mhm.
mentioned that. If we
Cool.
did, I've
Mhm.
just repeated it for you. But we're going to put all the links to all of these as well.
Yeah. And then our other big event that we have this year for our New Zealand virtual assistants is the 2025 New Zealand Virtual Assistant Awards. This is going to be our 5th year running these awards too.
I can't believe it's the 5th year. Like, I remember that first year. I remember 2021, and it was
COVID.
a lockdown, a COVID lockdown meant that
Yep.
we had to massively pivot 2 weeks out from the event, which was going to be in person. We had to pivot and we had to then put on an online national industry awards. And oh my God, we were almost in tears in that Zoom with the production team because we couldn't believe we were actually having to have this meeting about having to pivot.
Yeah,
Wow.
then we found ourselves in a warehouse in Hamilton.
Oh my God, no one would have known it was a bloody warehouse and virtually an abandoned warehouse. That sounds dramatic. It's not quite that bad. Like we knew the person that owned the warehouse and they gave it permission.
All right, so this year's awards is going to be on Saturday, the 20th September in Hamilton at the Atrium, which is a beautiful venue. And we're going to make it even more epic. Every year, I feel like we just up the game, up the ante. Your creative ideas of what we do for activities is like next level. Do you know what? Last year, Sam's husband's team had an entire table. They knew nothing about virtual assistants, knew nothing about any of the finalists or anyone that was going. And they came along, and do you know what? They had the best time ever because this is not your just typical, gala dinner awards event, where, the
No.
boring MC just starts reading out all of the finalist names and, everyone claps and people collect their awards. It is so much more than that. And Sam hates when I do this because she's like, you're building it up, you're building it up. But it is the most fun, epic event. So if you're a virtual assistant and you want to come along, connect, have some fun, it doesn't even matter if you want to enter the awards or you're a finalist or not. Like, come along because this is one of the major events of the year for virtual assistants, and it's so much fun. And there's lots of activities, and all our sponsors will be there, and yeah, lots to do.
Yeah, another great opportunity to connect in real life. And as you said, the atmosphere, like I don't even think I could describe the atmosphere. It really is something special, that room. But you've just talked it up something chronic. So I'm feeling an incredible amount of pressure to come up with some new creative things that we can introduce this year.
Yeah, no, lots of fun. So if you are wanting to enter the awards, we'll just let you know that have June in your calendar because June is going to be the month where you will have to get your award entry ready. So we will let you know when those entries are open, but it will be June. So
Yeah, and this event, let's just clarify, this is the event that lots of partners come along.
Mm.
Joe, you obviously mentioned that my partner came along and brought his, like, a good chunk of his team as well. That, yeah, because of the type of event it is, partners have just as much good a time as the virtual assistants as well. So, yeah, it's a goodie. It's a goodie.
Okay. It's lots. It's 6 major things that you could get involved in to have that connection. And like Sam mentioned at the start, like if you're in other countries, there will be other things that are going on in your country, in your region, where you can connect with other virtual assistants. So do some research, figure out what others are doing in your area and go along. Even if fills you with dread, we promise you it is worth it. We have to have that connection as humans. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Sam and Joe VA Show. If you'd like to find out more, head to the VA Foundry website to check out the mastermind and the amazing resources, courses, and coaching.
You can find us at thevafoundry.com.